Hello, everybody.
It's 2020, we rocking gray hats and grayer skies. Partition swapping, teraflopping, clocking all the gray lies. Full package, wanna be a bond billing girl, hack the planet, get paid, break the world, take the system offline, traffic through the hard line, take aim, shoot, force hard, reboot, crash and burn it down, the best I've ever found. Rounding up the decimal to take away your frown, loading up the exploit, take a hit of this joint, heading off the snitches, take 'em out at gunpoint. Out at gunpoint. Heading off the snitches, take him out at gunpoint.
I want to say thank you. I don't even know which one is which anymore. Hello. Alright. Welcome, everybody. I'm just playing around testing which buttons to hit. This is the ProductivePlace Newscast episode number 2. So let's go ahead and show what we got here. Some interesting facts for today. If you didn't know, today in history, we're gonna go ahead and take a look at this. Just in time for the Christmas shopping season, 57 units of the first commercial instant camera, the Polaroid Land Camera Model 95, goes on sale at the Jordan Marsh department store in Boston. So this is like one of the first Polaroid cameras that came out today in history. Just some interesting tidbits, Gotta keep you guys sharp with informations. And then let's go over today's sponsor, which is brought to you by Organic Mushroom Coffee, Lion's Mane and Chaga mushrooms. Beautiful mushrooms. Let's go ahead and play the little ad slot for that. I want to say thank you to our sponsor today, which is Sigmatic Organic Coffee with Lion's Mane and Chaga mushrooms. Now, this is not your typical instant coffee. It's a natural nootropic, which means it's really good for your brain. And they bring everyday magic to everybody all around. It's perfect for all diets, vegan and keto friendly, does not have a shroomy taste. It's better than a regular cup of joe, only 50 milligrams of caffeine for that focus, energy, and no crash. How about that? So let's go ahead and take a look at the Lion's Mane mushroom. It's a beautiful mushroom. It's a natural nootropic that helps support with focus, concentration, and productivity. It even helps with memory, and there's been studies linked to say that it helps people with Alzheimer's. That's pretty freaking awesome. This is, guys, you have to check this out. You have to go ahead and try this. Now, the next one is also the Chaga mushroom, the king of mushroom. Powerful antioxidant properties, helps support the immune system, fight inflammation, contains beta-glucans, helps the immune system, activating the complement system. It's pretty cool. Now, you can go ahead and look at the nutrition facts here. It's relatively super nice. Look at that. Healthy, vegan, organic. Heck yeah. And if you like this product, you want to go ahead and try it, please go ahead and click the description down below, or go ahead and scan that QR code. Do what you got to do. Go on Amazon, get this thing. You're not going to regret it, trust me. I personally have had this and I love it. It's one of my favorite coffees and nootropics to go with. Lion's Mane, hands down, awesome. They also have other ones, so go check it out. The Rishishi is... I was trying, but look at this. It is laggy. I wonder why I can't... well. Anywho, today's episode was brought to you by Organic Lion's Mane Coffee. Is good stuff. So the next thing on today's list, well, some interesting cool things about today. Well, I slept a long time over Thanksgiving. I was working on a Twitter news bot for our platform here, so get you all the relevant new information that I think is cool and that also doesn't necessarily make it to the of what I want to present. So yeah, the next thing on our list for today is the goals. Just quickly talk about these before we go over to the news. Last time I just said, I want to make another episode. This time I want to make sure that I highlight more because I want to be on the consistent. The first episode was on the 23rd, and now the second episode's on the 28th. I would like to try to get this to be daily, do daily news because, well, it's just like it's a good idea to do daily news. The next thing is personal thoughts to share. Well, don't really have too much at the moment other than the fact that this is all brand new to me and seeing how well people do, how well anybody likes this thing. Um, yeah, I'm waiting for Angel also, but let's go ahead and take a look at the crypto prices that are going on right now. Currently, we have Bitcoin sitting at $17,734, with a 4.2% increase over the last 24 hours. Ethereum is up 5.4%. XRP is 13.1%. Just pretty much that. Let's go ahead and take a look at the XRP chart because we like focusing on XRP over here. Um, if this would load, my thing is slow. It's still showing that. Weird. Is this live? Oh, okay. I'm like playing around and seeing how this all works out. So yeah, here we go on XRP. We just made a nice little move upwards, but we are playing around with the 62 cent mark over here, and we're also playing around with the 55 cent. So I see us just kind of traveling in a sideways place, unless we see some crazy stuff happen in the near future. So that kind of concludes a little bit of my XRP thoughts because I think that's what the next one is here. This is a little slow right now. It's supposed to be a little bit faster, but let's go over today's first piece of news, which is Bitcoin plunges over the 10% to stage Thanksgiving correction. Yeah, so we had a correction over Thanksgiving. This meeting has ended. Oh. You know what? I'm gonna end this and try to see what I can do with this stupid latency thing, because this is bothering me right now. Like, I want this thing not to be buffering. Is it smooth for people? I know there's a dude, someone watching. It says one viewer. If it's laggy, let me know, because this is I'm experiencing issues. But Bitcoin plunges over 10% to stage Thanksgiving correction. Bitcoin prices on Friday were trading in correction territory after suffering a Thanksgiving tumble, with the asset pulling back sharply as it was on the verge of notching at its first all-time high in about 3 years. So we did a pretty decent job hitting 19,000, and then we went. Personally thinking, 13,000 is on the table, but that's if we still need to cool down. I think we're still gonna keep on testing that 20,000. The skid lower for the prominent crypto comes in as it is flirting with its peak. Blah 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 blah. Worry not, this is a healthy correction, wrote Neam Azalam, the chief market analysis at Ava Trade, in Thursday research note. A drop in at least 10% from its recent peak is the most commonly used definition of a fall into correction territory used by technical analysis analysts. I can't read, apparently. Technical indicators have been long indicating that the correction is coming, and now the price is retracing towards its 50-day moving average on the daily time frame. The pace is currently set up for the news, where Bitcoin has pushed the RSI in oversold zone of the 4-hour time frame, which hasn't happened since September. The analyst wrote, referring to the measures of the momentum and the past strength in the asset. Indeed, Bitcoin is up nearly 140% so far in 2020, while the Dow Jones is up 0.12% and is up 5% up this. I can't read. I suck. But yeah, that was Bitcoin doing that. Oh, should probably do this, right? Next piece. Come on. Why you be so solo? Oh, because the phone is off. It helps if the phone is on. The phone is my remote, so when I press the volume up, it shoots a little card over here. And if I hold it down, it goes. So Bitcoin price, we already figured that it kind of took a little hit. Let's see what else this article brings up. Come on. The only thing that was important on this article was go away. While Bitcoin seems to be gaining popularity with the masses, there are still plenty of skeptics, including Ray Dalio, the founder of Bridgewater Associates, the world's first largest hedge fund, with $98.9 billion in assets. He recently argued that the cryptocurrency's volatility means that it is not a store of value, and has little correlation with the price of goods, meaning owning it doesn't protect the buying power among things. So there's a little tweet from Ray Dalio here. Off of Yahoo Finance, we have, obviously the trend here is we're still talking about the Thanksgiving drop. Most notably, most people think that this is just a natural thing that needed to happen. We should be starting to hit up some like nicer areas soon. So the rout began hours. Bitcoin rose $7 of its record high. Then it took a 250% surge. Some people gathered that because Brian Armstrong tweeted about speculation about US is considering new rules that would undermine the digital transactions. News that the Trump administration may clamp down on crypto might have been a trigger for the drop, said Anthony Trechov, managing partner of Nexio in London, which bills itself as the world's biggest digital coin lender. But any asset that rallies 75% in 2 months and 260% from the March lows is allowed to undergo a correction. Conditions are very massively overbought and bound for correction. So like pretty much everybody thinks that it is just like a natural thing. And then I think there was one other point from one of these other people, because a lot of these articles are all the same, talking about the November or the Thanksgiving drop. Another one was the plunge liquidated $950 million worth of positions across major exchanges, as noted by the derivative data provider Bybit. Nearly 90 million worth of positions on Compound Finance was also liquidated, as the price of DAI on Coinbase, which the platform's price Oracle uses to execute liquidations, spiked 30%. The latest BTC drop is the first of many tests for the new money on whether or not they have the vision and the stomach to truly invest into Bitcoin and the future of digital finance, or they'll simply repeat 2018 and wash out of the market. I think that's about it from that one. For this one, don't think we have too much extra news in this one. Which so backers hope that more than in 2020, a more mature market and fewer retail investors have lowered the chances of that kind of crash that followed in the 2017 bubble. There's definitely been a sense of euphoria in markets over the last couple of days, which is pretty true. I'm pretty excited. Um, this this mostly feels like a reaction to that. Over leveraged markets took one small hit and suffered immensely. Last month, U.S. prosecutors filed criminal charges accusing four founders and executives of crypto derivative exchanges of BitMEX of evading rules designed to stop money laundering. So crypto regulation stuff that people also be scared about too. I think that's pretty much. I think this is the last for the whole November crash shit. Pretty much this one gives three reasons why they think things happened. Like I said, most people think that it was just the correction was due because it was bound for it. It just needs to cool down. Another one was the excess leverage. Nearly $2 billion worth of derivative positions have been liquidated in the last 24 hours. Of that, 1.6 billion worth have been closed in the last 12 hours, according to the data source by Bybit. And this was 26, so this was 2 days ago. The technical pullback, basically, we're just saying that that's all. And then, yeah, that's all the same stuff about the whole crypto regulation by Brian Armstrong, talking about that kind of stuff. And then, pretty much, people say that this year is just stay bullish. It's not too much. Bitcoin has yet to peak. Co-founder of Ko-Mambai Wars exchange. I'm also seeing a lot of pro traders take the positions in Bitcoin. These are healthy positions because they are not going all in, but adding funds when it simply goes up or down. So, finally, nothing that's related too much to the whole November crash thingy-mabobber at Thanksgiving. So now, let's take a look at JPMorgan, what they have to say. JPMorgan admits that it was wrong about the end of the Bitcoin bull run and renews $140,000 plus price forecast. Pretty much the cryptocurrency known as Bitcoin has seen its value skyrocket around 19,000. Within the past year, the price of Bitcoin has more than doubled, posting close to $10,000 in growth in the last 2 months alone. It is undeniable that the monetary limits of fiat currency are being tested around the world as governments print trillions of dollars for stimulus packages in reaction to COVID-19. The United States alone has printed trillions of dollars and has far outspent what it has brought in with tax dollars, creating an unprecedented level of debt. Forbes writes, for the first time in U.S. debt is now equal to the GDP, and that sounds like a barrier, and that is the sound barrier we once thought of. If we might explode, if we hit it, we might explode. Yeah, they don't like that. Bitcoin may serve as an alternative investment vehicle for those who are wary of an unstable securities market. Market Insider reports that major companies like PayPal are making moves to incorporate cryptocurrencies into their services when they write. PayPal recently said that the users on its platform will be able to purchase Bitcoin as well as other sister cryptocurrencies like Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, and Litecoin. Today, Bitcoin has gotten to a place where institutional investors, banks, and family offices are legitimately pondering involvement as a defense against a currency devaluation. And this isn't a gold rush anymore. It's a good investment, he said. He predicts that Bitcoin will hit 30,000 by the end of next year. One could hope, but people, that's not like on the low end. A lot of people are thinking much, much higher, but one can hope. A lack of mainstream adoption may have explained the rapid fall of Bitcoin in 2017 as the market hype diminished and investors understood that there was not much real value at the time. With the ongoing adoption of Bitcoin, major firms like PayPal, the growing value of Bitcoin may actually be justified. And PayPal isn't the only company to move towards cryptocurrency. Payment company Square is the largest is buying a large block of Bitcoin at an pretty much at an unusual use of corporate cash. Square believes that cryptocurrency is the instrument of economic empowerment and provides a way for the world to participate in a global monetary system, which aligns with the company's purpose. Large establishments like JPMorgan are starting to experiment with cryptocurrencies, as Yahoo Finance reports. In May, JPMorgan went a step further when it began allowing customer transfers to and from Coinbase and Gemini. Cryptocurrency and blockchain technology seem to be demonstrating an undeniable advantages that cannot be ignored for long. It is highly likely that in the 2017, the world needed a couple more years to get acclimated to the idea of cryptocurrencies. It seems that for the most part, they are here to stay, and they will be most likely further use. There is some room for caution. Much like 2017, it is a high likely that the market hype is a contributing factor to the growth of Bitcoin, and it remains to be seen how far investors are willing to take this bull run. Market Insider cites billionaire investor Ray Dalio when he notes that cryptocurrencies are still far from attaining widespread adoption and that governments may pass regulations that cripple the value of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. As with all investments, there are risks involved, especially when there is potential for great reward, as in rapid rise of Bitcoin. But despite the naysayers, JP Morgan admits that Bitcoin continued to rally strongly over the past 2 weeks, nearing the $19,000 mark, challenging their previous assessment. As JP Morgan previously highlighted, the potential long-term upside for Bitcoin is considerable if it competes more intensely with gold as an alternative currency. As JP Morgan recently concluded, the potential long-term upside for Bitcoin is considerable. We think as it competes more um, intensely with gold as an alternative currency, given that millennials would become over time a more important component to the investors' universe. So we got PayPal and Square, pretty much, they be helping. And main thing with them is Square's clients have made up 40% of the buying of all new Bitcoin entering the market over the last 2 years. PayPal has also driven demand, as noted by a spike in volume on the Paxos exchange, which is a crypto firm that is partnered with PayPal. Volumes of Paxos has more than tripled since PayPal service went live, the analyst notes, stating that PayPal's clients were buying roughly 70% of the new Bitcoin supply hitting the market. Dan Moorhead, founder of the chief investment officer of Pantera Capital, said it's having a significant increase on price. You bring on two corporates that are already buying all the newly issued Bitcoins, supply and demand and says the price has to go up. As fintech companies make it easier to buy crypto, it is now easier to buy and transact with, and it is opening up the new demand by taking down a barrier of entry. As we noted over the weekend, large established banks like JPMorgan are starting to experiment with cryptocurrency. That's pretty much that one. And this one was actually pretty cool for me. I was quite happy that Motley Fool had something about the big three. And they're just basically say, hey, Bitcoin is becoming active again, and so why the resurgent interest in cryptocurrencies after the 2017 price run and burst bubble. The best guess is that I can offer is that the continued push towards a cashless and digital payments. The COVID-19 pandemic has made consumers question their payment choices, with cash viewed as a potential harbinger of germs. As Z have aged, they've grown into a larger percentage of the consumer pool. They have been far more willing than Gen Xers or Boomers to embrace digital payment options. And then obviously we're talking about PayPal and Square. This has not ended well before, so that they do say, please take a little bit of note here and caution. For millennial and novice investors, cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Ripple are a dream come true. They facilitate widely on a regular basis and can yield triple-digit gains in a matter of weeks if an investor sentiment is behind a token strong. If investor sentiment behind a token is strong enough, which hopefully, because of the flare stuff, XRP and our XRP army gonna be live. Hopefully. Crypto investors are fighting an uphill battle against the three very real problems. The three big problems that they pretty much go over. Bitcoin really isn't scarce. Bitcoin, like most digital tokens, has a limited utility, and you're buying the wrong asset. I didn't really highlight this, so I don't know what's the quickest way to go over it, but I would assume on this part here, they're kind of like, I don't think they quite understand it, but here, this one makes more sense. Bitcoin does not have too much utility. Now, they are building things around Bitcoin, but it doesn't have as much utility as one would like. Other assets like Ethereum have a lot more. XRP has a pretty nice actual use case that is being implemented as a corporate setting. So that's the payment rails for the banking institutions. So, and then you're buying into the wrong asset. I would just assume that if the asset doesn't have proper utility, you probably don't want to be in it. In the early times, like right now, it's an okay gamble, but as the market starts to mature even more and more and more, as more and more institutional investors come in, um, you will want to make sure that you're looking at the utility of that particular token. So Ripple plunges 31% when, dude, it almost hit $1. Okay, it almost hit $1 on at least on Coinbase. So XRP was trading at 51 cents by 241 on Thursday. So what's today? Saturday. So not too a couple days ago. And then it suffered 31.22% of a fall, which was one of the largest one-day percentage losses since March 12th. The move downward pushed XRP's market cap down to 24.15 billion, or 4.61% of the total cryptocurrency market cap. At its highest, the XRP market cap was at 31.5 billion. Pretty neat. But we are challenging the 50-cent resistant mark, and just recently, I believe we are now past. Let me see. I got this little. That's my log. We're at 61 cents right now. Lame. But we hold that the 50% support. XRP has experienced a correction due to a weakening Bitcoin. The remittance coin has also enjoyed a parabolic run, which was due for a pullback. There's also rumors of the U.S. Treasury banning self-custody digital assets, and XRP's 50-cent support has held and is crucial in determining its next trajectory. Pretty much, why did it drop? Well, it pretty much it overheated real fast, and then Bitcoin, of course, it dropped too. So that they just kind of go over the technicals there. But let's talk a little bit more about this spark coming, because this is gonna be fun. XRP has surged over 133% over the past week and over 150% in the past month alone. Basically, the Flare network is what's going to be pushing this. So the Flare can be used as a smart contract platform for XRP or as a trustless pipeline for XRP to other networks. The Flare this guy here says Flare network might just be the key to seeing a proliferation of issued currencies, especially trustless issued currencies, and combined with the path-finding features of the XRP ledger. There's so much potential. I'm not 100% what that means, but if I'm to guess, I mean, I only know the DeFi aspect, so I don't know what they quite mean as trustless currencies. I'm gonna guess like regular. I don't know. I am so distracted. At network launch, a protocol called the FXRP will be deployed on top of the Flare to safely enable the trustless insurance usage and redemption of XRP on Flare. This will in turn be secured by Flare's native token, Spark. So far, so good, but why the frenzy to receive Spark? Well, it's arguably because it's going to be the governance token that token holders can use to govern the Flare protocol through the voting mechanism. This brings additional value to the token and falls in line with the broader trend of governance tokens being a fashion in the current market. Spark token dynamics. As per details, 100 billion Spark tokens will be created to mirror the quantity of XRP that exists, meaning that 45 billion XRP tokens in circulation, the ones that do not belong to Ripple Labs. The objective of the distribution is that XRP holders will, other than Ripple, can claim approximately 1-to-1 amount of Spark that they're holding to XRP. In addition, 25 billion Spark will go to the Flare Networks Limited, Flare's for-profit organization, and 30 billion Spark will go into Flare's foundation. Exchanges are expected to support the airdrop in the upcoming days, giving the incentive by their users to buy XRP and further contribute to the markup in prices. These include Hong Kong's Crypto.com, which announced its support of the airdrop on yesterday. So I'm quite happy. Crypto.com. Uphold is another one. I'm using like the wallet stuff, and I'm just doing it through the little program thing. But if that's too confusing, You got some exchanges, although it's not the best practice to keep your money on an exchange, but for this thing, I don't see it being too suspicious. Like I don't see any exchanges going gone, so I think it'd be fine. So that's pretty cool. Other exchanges supporting the airdrop is eToro, Bitstamp, Bitrue, and Probit. Meanwhile, XRP prices are seeing a bit of a cool off after the vertical 50% um, price pump. So we just kind of said that a couple other companies also is now supporting it. Binance and Bitstamp, um, which is now about 20 exchanges now that it support. So that's pretty cool. So hopefully when the flare comes out, we'll be able to actually see a decent price increase. Hopefully. Also interesting, Brad Garlinghouse on the Anthony Pompliano thing. I got a little clip here, real quick, but just because it's a fun clip.
These Chinese-controlled technologies, where the Chinese Communist Party certainly has, if not control, heavy influence. I mean, again, I'll digress just to simply point out, when Ant Financial, the largest IPO in history, is delayed by the Chinese Communist Party, let's not pretend that if the Chinese Communist Party wants to provide control or oversight in some way of these concentrated miners in China, I think that's not realistic. And again, I'm not necessarily even saying let's just acknowledge it and let's decide, okay, does it matter? Is it critical? Let's not pretend it's not there. Let's acknowledge it's there. And like,
but hold on a second. So there's a difference though between could they exert influence over miners that are a minority part of the network, right? Versus
they're not a minority.
Of course they are. There's nobody who's got 50+% control.
4 miners in China have well over 50% control.
But that's 200%.
No, sorry. The combination of 4 miners have over 50% control.
Yeah, well, no, they've got over 50% of the mining hash power, but they don't have control of Bitcoin, right? It's not like the Chinese Communist Party can change anything or do anything. There are miners, of course.
If you control a majority of the hash power, the miners are the masters. If you control a majority of the hash power, we have seen 51% attacks on other blockchains. If the Chinese Communist Party, if what you're saying is you don't think the Chinese Communist Party could go to those 4 miners and say, hey, you need to do X, Y, and Z, I'll ask you, is that the position that you're...
I'm trying to understand what your argument is in terms of you're saying that the Chinese Communist Party has the ability to essentially 51% attack the Bitcoin network.
For sure they do.
Oh, I disagree with that for sure. All right, hold on. Wait, time out.
So pretty much everything revolves around the governments, and the thing that they're discussing there is whether or not China can basically go ahead and take over the current mining operations. Yeah, the answer is definitely yes. Their communist government can do whatever they want. They just go, hey, no, blah, blah. Similar here, but not that the government would totally seize it, but theoretically they could. Here the government would be like, yo, you're gonna get a fine, please stop doing this, etc. And that'll eventually push them out and leave. But over there, you're gonna take it over. Easy. But I thought that was a funny clip because I died watching that. So anyways, during that interview, Brad Garlinghouse had mentioned a little thing about whether or not if XRP was deemed a security, if they would thrive, and he said, he thinks that they would be kind of fine. Appearing in the episode of the Pomp podcast, Garlinghouse talked about the implications of XRP being declared a security by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. He said such a position would run contrary to a prevailing view among the G20 markets. If XRP was deemed a security here in the United States, we have other G20 markets that have taken a different view. I'm not aware of any market globally that thinks XRP is a security. He also added that more than 90% of the RippleNet customers are outside of the United States, suggesting that the security's destination wouldn't necessarily hinder the company's underlying business. Now, here's something that was interesting though. If XRP though was declared as a security in the United States, investors, including Ripple, would need to complete broker-dealer registration with the SEC. So I would assume that us XRP investors would need to file something with the SEC. That's crazy. So I don't want more paperwork, so let's hope that they don't do it as a security. But yeah. On the opposite side of the spectrum, though, we also have because Peter Brandt was talking about that he thinks that is a security, and Tom Emmer, congressman from Minnesota, basically argues that XRP is not a security. And also an interesting thing is Ripple has been in the subject of a class action lawsuit from the disgruntled investors claiming that XRP is a security. The lawsuit alleges false advertising and unfair competition charges against Ripple, and an amended filing from March claimed that Garlinghouse was shopping XRP to prospective investors while simultaneously liquidating his holdings. So sneaky, but I think that's like all the start, and then like when they didn't freaking have too much stuff built under is what I'm assuming. Also pretty interesting. Yearn Finance Dot has surged more than 900% in a week. A couple days ago. So Yearn Finance is continuing the decentralized finance Polkadot's legacy and has skyrocketed towards the top. Yearn Finance Dot has become one of the biggest gainers in the DeFi sector. I'm gonna have to stop this right now.